Hello everybody, this is Pastor Green. We're doing another Bible study, Daniel chapter 8. If you'd like me to come speak at your church, or if you have any questions, you can email me at godsohman@gmail.com. Daniel 8, starting with verse 1. In the 3rd year of the reign of King Belshazzar, a vision appeared unto me, even unto me Daniel, and after that which appeared unto me at the first. Now again, Daniel is not written in chronological order. King Belshazzar is the king that had the writing on the wall. And so this is a vision that happened during the 3rd year of his reign. And I saw in a vision, and it came to pass, when I saw, that I was at Shushan in the palace, which is the province of Elam. And I saw in a vision, and I was by the river of Ulai. So you can see right here, Babylon on the right, on the left there, Shushan on the right, and Ulai River is right next to it. Babylon's going to be modern day Iraq. Shushan's going to be modern day Iran. They don't really like each other that much, but you can see kind of where that would be at. Then I lifted up mine eyes, and I saw, and behold, there stood before the river a ram which had 2 horns. The 2 horns were high, but one was higher than the other, and the higher came up last. Almost every biblical scholar I know of saying that the ram with 2 horns signifies Medo-Persia Empire, and one of the horns is higher, so one of the kings were higher than the other king. And I saw the ram pushing westward and northward and southward, so that no beast might stand before him, neither was there any that could deliver it out of his hands, but he did according to his will and became great. So this ram went west, north, and south, but he didn't go east. That might be significant later. And I was considering, behold, and a he-goat came from the west, in the face of the whole earth, and touched not the ground, and the goat that had a notable horn between his eyes. Again, most biblical scholars say that this he-goat is probably Greece, and the horn between his eyes is Alexander the Great. And it makes a comment that he didn't touch the ground. You know, Alexander the Great had this motto. He always had a very small army. And every time he'd go into battle, as soon as you see the enemy, he would charge. He would always just charge in there. And he won most of his battles because of this. And so maybe the not touching the ground means he's always fast, he's always attacking, he's always on the move. And he came to the ram that had 2 horns, which I had seen standing before the river, and ran unto him in the fury of his power. And I saw him come close to the ram, and he was moved with choler against him, and smote the ram, and broke his 2 horns. And there was no power in the ram to stand before him, but he cast him down to the ground and stamped upon him, and there was none that could deliver the ram out of his hands. So it's saying here that the goat destroyed the ram, or that Greece destroyed Medo-Persia. We know Alexander the Great ended up winning in this war in secular history. Therefore the he-goat waxed very great, and when he was strong, the great horn was broken, and for it came up 4 notable ones towards the 4 winds of heaven. Alexander the Great died, I think, right around 30 years old, and he had 4 main generals, and the kingdom was split up into 4 different peoples. So this is talking about possibly Alexander the Great, or it's possibly talking about something that's going to happen in the future. And out of the one of them came forth a little horn, which waxed exceedingly great towards the south, and towards the east, and towards the pleasant land. The pleasant land probably meaning Israel. And some people think this little horn might be Cleopatra. Cleopatra came up from Egypt, loved Alexander the Great. Some people believe that. And it waxed great even to the host of heaven, and it cast down some of the host and of the stars of the ground, and stamped it upon them. And you can see here that this hasn't happened yet. We don't have any rulers, any kings that have ever cast down the hosts and stars in heaven into the ground. And none of them has even, been to the host of heaven. So this must be some type of a satanic or some type of supernatural event that's going to happen in the future. Yea, he magnified himself, even to the prince of the host, and by him the daily sacrifice was taken away, and the place of the sanctuary was cast down. A lot of people believe that this already happened. There was a guy named I can't think of his name on top of my head, but Epiphany was his last name. And basically, if you read the Catholic Bible, they have these two books called First and Second Maccabees. First and Second Maccabees talks about this guy who comes in there and he desolates the temple and destroys it, and he sacrifices a pig or something on the altar to defile it, and he basically, the temple couldn't do anything anymore because they desolated the temple. And these Maccabees, they come in and they clean the temple and do the daily sacrifices. After this point, I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but his last name was like Epiphany. But he stopped the daily sacrifices from happening because he desolated the temple. But we're going to see later that this isn't him. And a host was given to him against the daily sacrifice by the reason of transgression, and he cast down the truth of the ground, and I practised and prospered. Then I heard one saint speaking to another saint, said upon the certain saint which spoke, How long shall the vision be concerning the daily sacrifices, the transgression of desolation, to give both the sanctuary and the host be trodden under foot? And then he said unto me, Unto 2,300 days, then shall the sanctuary be cleansed. So this Epiphany's guy, he made the temple desolate for 1,700 and something. I want to say 30, but I might be wrong. But 1,700 something days. This says it's going to happen 2,300 days. If you've been watching my Woe series, What on Earth series, I haven't done 3 yet. I'll be doing it very soon. But I'm going to be talking about this. I think his name was like Antioch of Epiphanes or something like that. But he did it for 1,700 something days. And this is saying it's going to be 2,300 days. And it did come to pass when I, Daniel, had seen the vision and sought for the meaning. Then behold, there stood before me the appearance of a man. So Daniel's like, I want to know what's going on. Explain this to me. And I heard a man's voice between the banks of Ulai, which called and said, Gabriel, make this man to understand the vision. So somebody sends Gabriel down, who's an angel, to talk to Daniel to explain this vision to him. And so he came near where I stood, and when he came I was afraid, and fell upon my face. But he said unto me, Understand, O son of the man, for at the time of the end shall be the vision. So it's saying that this stuff's going to happen, the time of the end, or end times. That's when it's going to happen. Now as he was speaking with me, I was in a deep sleep on my face towards the ground, but he touched me and set me upright. So while this guy was speaking, he somehow touched Daniel, and Daniel stood up. And he said, Behold, I will make thee known what shall be in the last end of the indignation, for the time appointed the end shall sure be. And the ram which thou sawest, having 2 horns, are the kings of Media and Persia. Just like I was saying, the ram had 2 horns, Media Persian Empire, and one was greater than the other. And the rough goat is the king of Grecia, and of the great horn that is between his eyes is the first king, and that first king obviously is Alexander the Great. Now that being broken, whereas 4 stood up for it, 4 kingdoms shall stand up out of the nation, but not in his power. Yeah, like I said, Alexander the Great died very young, like in his 30s, and these 4 generals took over, and they really weren't that powerful, but they took over the kingdom. Now in the latter time of their kingdom, the transgressors are come to the full. The king of fierce countenance and understanding dark sentences shall stand up. I believe this is talking about some kind of a satanic or supernatural being is going to come up and rise up. And in his power shall be mighty, but not by his own power. He shall destroy wonderfully, and shall prosper and practice, and shall destroy the might and the holy people. So this guy's going against Christ's people. And through his policy shall he also cause craft to prosper in his hands. And he shall magnify himself in his heart, and by peace shall destroy many. He shall also stand up against the prince of princes. He shall be broken without hand. So this is, he's going to cause craft to prosper. A lot of people think that's witchcraft, and something's going to happen. He's just going to immediately perish somehow, a heart attack. I don't know, but he's going to be broken without hands. So something's going to happen to him, and it's not going to be by hands. And the vision of the evening and the morning which was told is true. Wherefore shall shut up the visions, for it shall be for many days. And I, Daniel, fainted, and I was sick certain of days. Afterwards I rose up into the king's business. and I was astonished by the vision, but none understood it. So he was told to write this stuff down, but he didn't really understand it. Hey guys, that's the video. I appreciate you guys watching. If you have any questions, you can always comment below, or you can email me. On the bottom right of the screen, I'm going to have a Daniel Bible study. You can click on that if you want to continue this the study from Daniel 1 all the way up till now. Top left is going to be the Exodus Bible study, and the bottom left is going to be a video that YouTube thinks you're going to like. Usually it's the one beforehand, so it would be Daniel 7, but we'll see what happens. Anyways, guys, if you have any questions, let me know. Make sure you like and subscribe. If you haven't yet, please share this with somebody that might like it. And I'll see you in the next video. Have a great day.